I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, the city of dreams. Many people move to Los Angeles to pursue their dreams. In 1996, I left Los Angeles in search of mine. My journey was blended with success and challenges. I succeeded at work while I eventually stumbled in college. I needed to begin my adulthood journey, and I didn't know where to begin. I was academically kicked out of university and I lacked vision, structure, and discipline. I knew I had the potential, but I was not close to tapping into it. At the age of 23, I was exhausted of the Los Angeles club scene. While I had fun going out with my friends, I needed to do something with my life. I met a young woman named Julia at the Mayan, a dance club in downtown Los Angeles. We occasionally went out and saw each other. The idea of joining the United States Air Force came back to me. My parents taught me that hard work is worth it. And I always worked hard, but I also played hard. In a blink of an eye, I had been out of high school for 5 years, and I wasn't happy with where I was. It was time for me to fill in what I was lacking, a vision, structure, and discipline. Joining the Air Force seemed like a logical team. I enlisted in the Air Force in July of 1995. However, they made me wait 10 months. In those 10 months, I grew very close with Julia, and I needed something to do. Julia was never my girlfriend. We didn't have any history or drama, and I really enjoyed my brief time with her. I guess she felt the same way as we agreed to get married. The crazy thing is we were never boyfriend-girlfriend, and that's the truth. I know that's not a romantic way of putting it, but that's the way we began. We got married 3 weeks before I left for basic training, and she has been by my side coming up on 23 years of marriage. Our early years of marriage included strengths and weaknesses, just like any other marriage. My number one priority to this day is not my children nor my career, not my friends or family, travel or sports. It is my marriage. That doesn't mean we have figured it out. When I was 16, I told my mom I wanted to get married at the age of 28 and stay married. I was 24 and she was 23 when we got married. Our first year took many adjustments. We didn't know how to communicate during the struggles. I remember realizing that I needed to make some changes in order to stay happily married. We didn't have much money except to pay our bills. Julia and I always describe it like it was. We began our journey with 6 pieces of luggage and a little boy. We both had similar backgrounds that included dysfunctional families. I guess we're normal. We had many things in common, and that's why we connected. What I quickly discovered was Julia's heart, and what a great heart she has. There are many things that I love about her, but first and foremost, it is her heart. At the 15-year mark of marriage, we ended up in marriage counseling, and that was the biggest blessing of our marriage. We learned so many things to communicate and to use the tools that we had learned. Being a parent to my children has been an incredible experience. My children, Aaron and Clarissa, have blessed me beyond words. Watching them grow, we bring them into this world, we clothe them, we teach them, we see their own unique personalities, silliness, completely different from each other, yet very similar. 9 years apart, and loving each other is the best gift that they can give Julia and myself. 9 years apart, yet so close together. Aaron has been a mentor to Clarissa, and just like Julia and I have taught both of them a lot, they have no idea how much we have learned from both of our children, watching them grow. They always ask questions. You treat a son a little bit different than you treat a daughter, even though we love them completely the same way. And what a joy it is for us as parents to see them graduate high school, move on to their next adventure in life. Like I said, brother and sister, very similar, but at the same time, different. And that's the way it is. We watch Aaron grow into a young adult, a young, great adult who's always had the ability of talking to people ever since he was a little boy. And then the day changes where they drive us around and we get to do what they like to do and learn. I went ice fishing just yesterday for the first time with Aaron. And here we are on a helicopter ride, spring training in Arizona. And this is just north of San Francisco. Often we travel together as a family. Sometimes it's just my son and I. Other times it's my daughter and I. Lately it's been my wife and I. Clarissa grew up as a little shy girl with a lot of wonder and curious, yet very shy. And at first stopped her from doing a few things, but the great news is that she grew into a person of confidence, of putting herself in an uncomfortable situation. From watching us, her parents, her brother, do things, she was the next one in line. I took her out often at the age of 16 to get her permit and get her hours so she can drive. One time, 15 minutes after we had left the house to get some hours, or at least 1 hour of driving, 15 minutes later we were home. And my wife asked, "Why are you home so quick?" It's because we got into a little disagreement on the road. She still succeeded as she gives me the high five or the thumbs up. And a few years after watching Aaron graduate from high school, Clarissa graduates at the exact same high school. Both of them gladiators for life. Moving on to the next chapter of her life. Here in South Carolina, maybe a month before she left for school, for college, and that's when it hit me. We were going to be empty nesters. She did one semester of ROTC and said, "Dad, I enjoyed it. However, I don't think it was for me." And that's okay, because both of our children will succeed in what they do. Next thing you know, they're out of the house. In 1996, I walked these same parade grounds. Graduation, Air Force basic training. I didn't realize that that was going to be my career. I enlisted for 4 years, and I thought I was going to go back to the city of dreams, Los Angeles. That's when I realized the Air Force is a great team, not perfect, but a great team and a good fit for myself. I am beyond thankful for the Air Force, the team that welcomed me. The Air Force offers many opportunities while serving our great country. I've been an advocate for what I've gotten to do as an airman with strangers on YouTube, telling people about my journey and what we as individuals can learn while we serve our great nation. The many endless opportunities that I've had. Like it says here, Air Force, a great way of life. The number one thing about the Air Force, without a doubt, are the people. The people that I've served with, the airmen, the retirees, the civil servants, where we've focused on the mission as a team, whether we knew each other or not. That is the beauty of the Air Force. We're all taught the same, the core values, and whether we know each other or not, we get the job done. It's, like I said, not a perfect team, but it is a great team. And I am still an airman, even though I retired in 2018. The Air Force has given me several opportunities to travel, for training, for education, and I've seen things that I only wish my family could see. I felt guilty at times, going places and doing things. Here I am at my friend's retirement. Joe, who you'll see in just a moment. Here's the Air Force graduation at the Air Force Academy, where I got to see President Barack Obama speak. I've seen vice presidents speak. Again, I've seen many things that I never imagined were possible. Air Force Academy graduation, where the Thunderbirds flew by. And just 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, we hear that one of them had to do an emergency landing not too far from our home. The good news, the pilot was fine. We come together as a team, the Air Force, to do many great things. And here is my career, Air Force career as a one-striper, basic training. Julia and I, from the beginning, she's been by my side. Been blessed to see many things, to have lived many places. My first salute, my father-in-law, Vietnam veteran, Michael Charles Whitworth. It flew by. It's been a great ride. My mom, my father, the celebration of retirement. Well written by my wife, one airman, 22 years of service, 8,030 days of bravery, one loving wife, 22 years of marriage, two great children. The journey came. There have been many special people in my life. My uncle Julio enlisted in the Army when he was 17 years, and that was my first exposure to the military as I listened about his travels and the friends and his journey. So, Uncle Julio, thank you very much. Then there's my friend Tony, who I surprised when he visited us here in Colorado. We went to high school together, and he is truly a brother. Crazy Legs Joe, also known as T.I., a friend, retired Air Force, another brother that I've had the pleasure of living life with. My friend Denver, retired 1971, Chief Master Sergeant in the Air Force. I learned a lot from you, Denver. I miss you. You're a great friend, and I'm happy to have shared some time with you as well. Here's a picture of him and his wife, Dot, together forever. Then there's Ben, also known as B. West, former firefighter retrained into personnel. We met in 2005, and we are incredibly similar. What a great friend this guy is. We've gone to many concerts. We've had a lot of good conversations just about life. Then there is Brown Sugar, my mother-in-law. I actually flew out to Los Angeles and spent some time with her undercover. Had some really good times with her. Took her to a cemetery for Avenged Sevenfold's drummer, an Angels game. Then there's Lisa, or Liza. I know her as Lisa. Great person, great attitude, strong woman, true friend. Steve, you let me hang out with you in Europe for a week. We didn't even know each other too well. You became another brother. Then there's Juan. I met Juan's parents back in 1996. And Juan was my roommate, great friend as well, retired Air Force. Juan, another friend, enlisted at the age of 39 and is doing incredible things. Unfortunately, this is the only video I have of him. Then there's Alfonso and Tish. Alfonso's retired United States Army, good friends. So many similarities. Another friend, Sergio, Air Force Academy grad, incredibly knowledgeable when it comes to work. I learned a lot from him. Then there's the best golfer in the Air Force that I know, John. We worked together at ARPC, good friend as well. My brother-in-law, sister-in-law visiting Colorado. Friends and family, treasure those moments that you get to spend together. Then there's the new generation, Wild Blue Yonder, Matt, doing great things at the Air Force Academy in his first year. Derek, also known as Laker Sparrow, we met through YouTube as well. He has some incredible travels. Huge Laker fan. A-Rock, up in Northern California, I sent him this Air Force hockey jersey. He is international traveler and collector of jerseys. Then there's Charlie, Molly, Panther, Diva, Gracie. How did we get so lucky to have all these in our lives? Even when we try to take him out for a walk, you know who's running the show. It's not us. New generation, Gunny, Wu-Tang, Puppy, going to be 4 years old. Bundle of energy. You're welcome anytime here. Charlie, we miss you. We love you. We know you're barking and running in heaven. Music has always been a big part of my life, especially growing up in Los Angeles. Whether it's rock and roll, heavy metal, dance, techno, or the serious channel, The Bridge. Sometimes you have to just imitate your idols and have fun with it. Or leave it up to the professionals like Grant Saban, locally here in Colorado Springs. Or Corey Feldman and his Angels, an interesting show. If you want it a little bit harder, Volbeat, rocking right in front of you. Five Finger Death Punch. Or Slayer. Finally got to see them. Korn, seen them a few times, always a good show. Iron Maiden was my first show back in 1985, Long Beach Arena. I was 13 years old and I've seen them a few times as well. Finally got to see Angus Young, AC/DC. Hollywood's own Steel Panther. Funny guys, interesting, a good time. Or got to see Social Distortion for the first time. Judas Priest and Rob Halford. Finally got to see them and they were loud. Or how about being on stage with Suicidal Tendencies and Mike Muir? What a great show. Went with my son and there he is in 3, 2, 1. Finally got to see my friend, Francis Falls, New York's The Bitter End, New York City. Morrissey, you can't leave Morrissey out of this. That was a treat. Ended up in Carnegie Hall with my daughter, our own private balcony, and saw this choir sing. They were missing one thing. Do you know what that was? A mosh pit. Sports has always been a big part of my life. Los Angeles, I support all my Los Angeles teams, and I love to go on the road. Going to a baseball game with my son and my cousin. Seeing the 5-time world champion Kobe Bryant and my Los Angeles Lakers. Or going to a hockey game, again at the Pepsi Center. Dodgers baseball against the Rockies in Colorado. Or going to a football game, the Raiders versus the Broncos. CSU Fort Collins. San Francisco, home of the disliked San Francisco Giants. Or spring training and watching Clayton Kershaw and Rich Hill. Then there's Air Force football and an incredible fly over. Go Falcons. CSU football, brand new stadium. Spring training, watching the Dodgers. Sometimes we root for the same team, Air Force versus Notre Dame. Sometimes we don't. And a tribute to the Red Hot Chili Peppers and the Los Angeles Lakers. One thing I know for sure, go Air Force. There is a big world out there with great people, and that's what I like to do is explore, see new places, see new things, meet new people. Sometimes we travel all, like I said, together, sometimes we don't. This is Seattle by the gum wall with our friends. Or the Grand Canyon, getting into the park for free. A beautiful rainforest in Costa Rica. New York City, where the city never sleeps. Cinque Terre, Italy. Arizona. Pisa. Taking a bike in New York City. Whether I've traveled with the Air Force or on my own, it's one of the things that I really love to do. San Francisco. I've been blessed in many ways. My family, my team, my friends. I hope you're just as fortunate to find the blessings in your life and make the most out of every day.